Have you ever poured your heart out to a friend, only to feel a sting in their response that left you questioning everything? Picture this. You're celebrating your biggest win, maybe a promotion or a dream project, and your so-called best friend smiles, says congrats, but slips in a comment like, "Oh, anyone could have done that." That subtle jab hits harder than you expect. It's not just a bad day. It's a glimpse into their true colors. Carl Jung, the master of human psychology, taught us that the shadows people hide always reveal themselves in their actions. In this video, we're diving deep into the only two psychological signs that expose fake friends, those who pretend to be in your corner but secretly hold you back. Backed by Carl Jung's timeless wisdom, we'll uncover how to spot these hidden patterns, protect your growth, and surround yourself with people who truly lift you up. If you're ready to see through the masks and build real connections, stick around and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to Jung Psyche Hub. What if the people closest to you are hiding something darker than you realize? Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds in psychology, believed that every person carries a shadow, a hidden part of themselves filled with insecurities, fears, and desires they don't want to face. These shadows don't just live inside us, they shape how we interact with others, especially in friendships. To spot a fake friend, you need to understand how their shadow shows up in subtle, sneaky ways. In this chapter, we're diving into Carl Jung's powerful ideas about the human psyche and how they reveal the truth behind false friendships. By the end, you'll see why some people pretend to be your friend while secretly working against you, and how to spot it before it derails your growth. Let's start with a story. Meet Sarah, a 30-year-old graphic designer who just landed her dream job at a top agency. She's thrilled and shares the news with her friend Emily, someone she's known since college. Emily smiles, gives her a hug, and says, "That's amazing, Sarah, but, you know, those big agencies can be brutal. I hope you're ready for the stress." At first, Sarah brushes it off, thinking Emily's just being realistic. But over time, she notices a pattern. Every time she shares a win, Emily finds a way to dampen her excitement. A promotion. That's cool. But don't get too comfortable. They fire people fast. A new relationship. He seems nice, but you've always had bad taste in guys. These aren't just random comments, they're clues to something deeper. Carl Jung's concept of the shadow explains what's going on here. The shadow is the part of our personality we push down the insecurities, jealousies, or fears we don't want to admit. For some people, like Emily, seeing someone else succeed brings their shadow to the surface. Instead of facing their own feelings of inadequacy, they project them onto you. This is what Carl Jung called projection, when someone takes their inner struggles and pins them on someone else. In friendships, projection shows up as subtle behaviors that make you question yourself. A fake friend might act supportive on the surface, but their shadow leaks out through words or actions that hold you back. Why does this happen? Carl Jung believed that people who haven't confronted their shadow are controlled by it. If your friend feels insecure about their own career, your success becomes a mirror they don't want to look into. Instead of dealing with their jealousy, they might try to dim your light to feel better about themselves. This isn't always intentional. Sometimes they don't even realize they're doing it. But the impact is real. Their projection chips away at your confidence, leaving you feeling smaller than you should. Let's break this down with another example. Imagine you're at a dinner with friends, and you share that you're training for a marathon. Most of your friends cheer you on. But one, let's call him Mike, says, "That's ambitious, but running's not for everyone. Remember when you quit that gym membership on the surface? It sounds like a harmless joke, But it's not. Mike's comment isn't about your marathon. It's about his own discomfort with your ambition. Maybe he's been meaning to get in shape but hasn't. Your progress threatens his ego. So his shadow pushes him to undermine you. Disguised as a playful jab, research backs this up. In 2008, psychologist Richard H. Smith studied envy and found that when people feel threatened by someone else's success, they often respond with behaviors that devalue or minimize it. This is exactly what fake friends do. They can't celebrate your wins because your growth highlights their own insecurities. Instead of owning those feelings, they project them onto you, making you feel like your achievements aren't a big deal. Carl Jung's insight takes this further. These projections are unconscious, meaning your friend might not even know they're envious, but their behavior still hurts. So, how does this connect to spotting fake friends? The key is recognizing patterns. A real friend might tease you now and then, but their support feels genuine. They lift you up when it counts. A fake friend, on the other hand, consistently shows their shadow through actions that make you doubt yourself. They're not always loud or obvious about it. Often, it's a quiet jab, a backhanded compliment, or a subtle way of keeping you in your place. Over time, these moments add up, and you start to feel drained instead of inspired after spending time with them. Let's go back to Sarah and Emily. After months of those subtle comments, Sarah started second-guessing her choices. Should she really take that job? Was she ready for the challenge? Emily's words planted seeds of doubt that grew into hesitation. This is the power of projection. It's not just about one comment. It's about a pattern that erodes your confidence. Carl Jung's wisdom reminds us that by making these shadows conscious, we can protect ourselves. When you notice someone consistently making you feel smaller, you're not imagining it. That's their shadow talking. And it's a red flag. They might not be a true friend. But here's the good news. Understanding the shadow isn't just about spotting fake friends. It's about empowering yourself. Carl Jung believed that confronting the shadow, whether it's yours or someone else's, is the path to growth. By recognizing these patterns, you take control. You stop letting other people's insecurities define your worth. You start choosing relationships that align with your journey toward becoming your best self. Before we move to the first psychological sign of a fake friend, let's pause for a moment. Think about your own life. Have you ever felt that subtle sting from a friend's comment? Maybe it was a moment when you shared something big, only to feel deflated by their response. Hold on to that thought. It's the first step to seeing the truth. If this is resonating with you, drop a comment below and let us know what's one moment that made you question a friendship. Your story might help someone else see their own situation more clearly. And if you're finding value in this, hit that like button and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. In the next chapter, we'll dive into the first psychological sign, consistent undermining, and how it shows up in ways you might not expect. Stick with us as we uncover how fake friends use subtle tactics to hold you back, and how you can break free. You're watching Jung's Psyche Hub, where we explore the psychology of growth and relationships. Let's keep going. Have you ever shared your biggest dream with a friend, only to feel a little smaller after their response? It's not always a blatant insult or an argument that reveals a fake friend. Sometimes, it's the quiet, subtle sting of their words that cuts deepest. A comment disguised as a joke, a piece of advice that feels more like a jab, or a compliment that doesn't quite land right. This is the first psychological sign of a fake friend, consistent undermining, a behavior so sneaky it can slip under your radar for months, even years. In this chapter, we're diving deep into how fake friends use subtle tactics to dim your light, why they do it, and how you can spot this pattern before it erodes your confidence. Grounded in Carl Jung's psychology and real-world examples, We'll uncover the hidden motives behind their behavior and give you the tools to protect your growth. Let's dive in. Imagine this, John, a 28-year-old entrepreneur, is buzzing with excitement as he tells his friend Lisa about a new business idea. He spent weeks researching, planning, and dreaming about launching his startup. Lisa listens, nods, and says, "That sounds cool, John, but starting a business is risky. Remember that side hustle you tried last year? It didn't exactly take off." On the surface, Lisa's comment seems like practical advice, but something about it feels off. John walks away feeling deflated, second-guessing his idea before he's even started. This isn't a one-time thing, it's a pattern. Every time John shares a win or a goal, Lisa finds a way to poke holes in it. "Congrats on the new client, but they're probably high maintenance. That's a nice apartment, but the rent must be killing you." These comments aren't loud betrayals, they're subtle, wrapped in a smile or a casual tone, but they chip away at John's confidence over time. This is what Carl Jung's psychology helps us understand. In Chapter 1, we talked about the shadow, the hidden parts of ourselves, like jealousy or insecurity, that we don't want to face. When someone can't confront their own shadow, they project it onto you through a behavior Carl Jung called projection. A fake friend like Lisa might feel threatened by John's ambition because it highlights her own fears of failure or lack of progress. Instead of owning those feelings, she projects them by undermining John's efforts. Her comments aren't really about his business idea or his new client. They're about her own discomfort with his growth. Carl Jung's insight is powerful here. These subtle jabs are the shadow leaking out, revealing a friend who's not truly in your corner. Why is undermining so hard to spot? Because it's disguised. Fake friends don't come out swinging with obvious criticism. Instead, they cloak their envy or insecurity in humor, sarcasm, or helpful advice. Psychologists like Richard H. Smith, who studied envy in 2008, found that when people feel threatened by someone else's success, they often engage in behaviors to minimize it. This is called social comparison, and it's at the heart of undermining. When your friend sees you rising, whether it's a new job, a creative project, or even personal growth, it can stir up feelings of inadequacy in them. Rather than celebrate you, they subtly push you down to feel better about themselves. It's not always malicious, but it's always damaging. Let's look at another example to bring this to life. Picture Maria, a college student who's passionate about photography. She posts a stunning photo on social media, and her friend Alex comments, "Wow, that's pretty good for an amateur. Have you seen how pros edit their shots?" Though at first, Maria laughs it off. But the word amateur stings. Over time, she notices Alex always has a way of framing her compliments with a twist. "Your photos are cute, but they're not exactly gallery-worthy. You're getting better. But photography's such a crowded field." These aren't just opinions, they're calculated moves to keep Maria from shining too brightly. Alex's shadow, perhaps his own unacknowledged fear of not measuring up, drives him to undercut Maria's confidence, all while maintaining the appearance of a supportive friend. So, how do you know if you're being undermined? It's all about the pattern. A real friend might give you constructive feedback, but it feels like they're rooting for you. Their critiques come from a place of wanting you to grow. A fake friend's comments, on the other hand, leave you feeling doubted or deflated. You might walk away from a conversation thinking, "Why do I feel worse about myself now?" That's the red flag. Research on relational aggression, a concept in social psychology, shows that these subtle, indirect attacks like backhanded compliments or disguised criticism can damage your self-esteem just as much as overt hostility. Over time, they create a slow drip of doubt that erodes your confidence and trust in the friendship. Let's go deeper with a third example. Imagine you're at a family gathering, and you share that you're writing a book. Your friend David says, "That's awesome, but writing's so tough, most people never finish their first draft." Later, when you mention you're pitching to publishers, he adds, "That's ambitious, but the industry's brutal. I know someone who got rejected a dozen times." Each time, David's words sound supportive, but they plant seeds of doubt. You start wondering if your dream is unrealistic. This is undermining at its core. It's not about helping you succeed, it's about keeping you small. Carl Jung would say David's shadow is at play here, projecting his own fears of failure onto your ambition. So, why does this matter? Because consistent undermining isn't just annoying, it's toxic. It can make you question your worth, your goals, and even your ability to succeed. Over time, it creates a dynamic where you feel like you need to shrink to keep the friendship comfortable. That's the opposite of what a true friend does. Real friends lift you up, celebrate your wins, and challenge you to grow. Fake friends, driven by their unacknowledged shadow, use undermining to hold you back. Recognizing this pattern is the first step to breaking free. Here's how you can protect yourself. First, trust your gut. If a friend's comment leaves you feeling off, don't dismiss it. Pay attention. Second, look for the pattern. One offhand remark might be a bad day. But if someone consistently downplays your achievements, that's a sign. Third, set boundaries. You don't have to cut them off right away, but you can limit how much you share with them. Save your big dreams for people who truly support you. Carl Jung's wisdom reminds us that making the shadow conscious, whether it's theirs or yours, gives you power. By naming this behavior as undermining, you take control of your confidence and your growth. Before we move on to the next sign of a fake friend, let's pause and reflect. Have you ever felt that sting from a friend's comment that seemed supportive, but left you doubting yourself? Maybe it was a backhanded compliment or a joke that hit too close to home. Drop a comment below and share your story. It might resonate with someone else watching. And if this is hitting home, hit that like button and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. You're watching Jung's Psyche Hub, where we uncover the psychology behind relationships and personal growth. In the next chapter, we'll explore the second sign of a fake friend absence when you need them most, and how it reveals their true colors in your toughest moments. Stay with us. What happens when life knocks you down, and the friend you thought would be there is nowhere to be found? It's one thing to have a friend who subtly undermines your successes, but it's another when they disappear entirely during your darkest moments. This is the second psychological sign of a fake friend absence when you need them most. It's a pattern that reveals itself not in what they say, but in what they don't do. In this chapter, we're diving into how fake friends vanish when life gets tough, why their absence speaks louder than words, and how Carl Jung's wisdom helps us understand their true motives. Through real-life stories and psychological insights, we'll show you how to recognize this red flag and protect your heart from those who only show up when it's convenient. Let's get into it. Picture this, Emma, a 32-year-old teacher, just went through a devastating breakup. She's heartbroken, struggling to get out of bed, and reaches out to her friend Claire, someone she's leaned on for years. Emma sends a text. "Hey, I'm really struggling. Can we talk?" Claire responds with a quick, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm swamped this week. Let's catch up soon." Days turn into weeks, and Claire never checks in. But a month later, when Emma's starting to heal and posts a fun night out on social media, Claire suddenly reappears, commenting, You look like you're doing great. Let's grab coffee. Emma feels a pang of hurt. Where was Claire when she needed her? This isn't the first time when Emma lost her job last year. Claire was too busy to meet up, but showed up eagerly for parties and good times. Claire's absence in Emma's struggles isn't just a scheduling conflict. It's a pattern that reveals her true colors. Carl Jung's psychology shines a light on why this happens. Carl Jung believed that hardship strips away the masks people wear, revealing their authentic selves. In moments of suffering, the shadow, those hidden insecurities or self-interests, comes to the surface. A true friend's presence is steady because their care is rooted in genuine loyalty. A fake friend, however, builds their connection on convenience, comfort, or what they can gain. When life gets messy, their shadow takes over, and they distance themselves to avoid discomfort or vulnerability. Carl Jung would say their absence is the shadow breaking through, showing that their friendship was never about true care. It was about what felt good for them. Let's unpack this with another story. Meet Daniel, a young professional who's just been diagnosed with a chronic illness. He's scared, overwhelmed, and turns to his friend Ryan, someone he's shared countless good times with: road trips, late-night talks, you name it. Daniel calls Ryan, hoping for a conversation to lift his spirits. Ryan picks up, listens for a minute, and says, "Man, that sounds rough. I'm slammed with work. But let me know how it goes." Weeks pass, and Ryan doesn't follow up. No texts, no calls. But when Daniel starts feeling better and shares an update about a new project, Ryan's back, texting, "Dude, you're killing it. Let's hang out." Daniel realizes Ryan's only around for the highs, not the lows. This absence isn't just a one-off. It's a pattern that shows Ryan's friendship is conditional, built on fun, not loyalty. Why does this pattern matter so much? Because it's in your moments of struggle that you need real support the most. Psychological research on social support, like studies from the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, shows that having reliable people in tough times is a key predictor of resilience. When someone consistently fails to show up during your hardships, it's not just disappointing, it's a betrayal of trust. Their absence sends a clear message. They value the friendship only when it's easy or benefits them. Carl Jung's insight adds depth here in suffering. People's unconscious motives, self-interest, fear of emotional messiness, or discomfort with vulnerability rise to the surface. A fake friend's absence is their shadow speaking, revealing a connection rooted in convenience rather than care. Let's look at one more example to drive this home. Imagine Sophia, a single mom who's juggling work and parenting while dealing with a family crisis, her mother's sudden illness. She reaches out to her friend Mia, someone she's always considered a sister. Sophia texts, "I'm really struggling with everything going on. Can we meet up?" Mia responds, "I'm so sorry. I've got a crazy week. Sending you love." But that's it. No follow-up. No check-ins. Weeks later, when Sophia shares a post about a small win, like her son's school award, Mia's quick to comment, "You're such a super mom." Sophia feels hurt and confused. Why is Mia only there for the good moments? This pattern, disappearing during crises, but reappearing for celebrations, shows that Mia's friendship is selective, showing up only when it's comfortable or makes her feel good. So, how do you spot this sign in your own life? Look for the pattern. A real friend might not be available for every single moment, but they show up when it counts. When you're grieving, stressed, or lost, they don't need to fix your problems. Their presence, even just a text or a call, says, "I'm here for you." A fake friend, on the other hand, has a habit of vanishing when life gets heavy. They might make excuses: "I'm busy." Work's crazy, but excuses pile up into a pattern. You'll notice they're quick to show up for fun events, parties, or moments when you're on top. But when you're down, they're nowhere to be found. That's the shadow at work, revealing their true priorities. Why is this so damaging? Because it leaves you feeling alone when you're most vulnerable. Research on relational psychology shows that consistent absence during tough times can erode trust and make you question the entire friendship. Over time, you might even start blaming yourself, thinking, maybe I'm too needy, or maybe I don't deserve support. But that's not true. Carl Jung's wisdom reminds us that recognizing this pattern, making the shadow conscious, gives you clarity. Their absence isn't about you. It's about their inability to handle discomfort or show true loyalty. Here's how to protect yourself. First, pay attention to who shows up when life gets hard. Notice the friends who check in, listen, or just sit with you in the mess. Those are your true allies. Second, don't chase people who disappear. If someone's consistently absent during your struggles, it's okay to let the friendship fade. You don't need to confront them. Just focus your energy on relationships that nourish you. Third, trust your worth. You deserve friends who are there through thick and thin, not just when it's convenient. Carl Jung's idea of individuation, becoming your truest self, means surrounding yourself with people who support your growth, not just your good days. Before we move to the next chapter, let's pause for a moment. Have you ever reached out to a friend during a tough time, only to feel like they left you hanging? Maybe they were quick to celebrate your wins, but vanished when you needed them. Drop a comment below and share your story. It might help someone else see their own situation more clearly. And if this is resonating, hit that like button and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. You're watching Jung's Psyche Hub, where we dive deep into the psychology of relationships and personal growth. In the next chapter, we'll explore what to do when you recognize these signs of a fake friend, with practical steps to protect your heart and build stronger connections. Stay with us. Now that you can spot the signs of a fake friend, those subtle jabs that undermine your success and their absence when you need them most, what do you do next? Recognizing fake friends isn't about becoming cynical or cutting everyone out of your life. It's about taking control of your relationships and choosing connections that fuel your growth. In this final chapter, we're diving into practical steps to handle fake friends, protect your heart, and build a circle of true allies who lift you up. Guided by Carl Jung's wisdom on individuation, the journey to becoming your truest self, we'll explore how to set boundaries, prioritize real friendships, and turn painful realizations into opportunities for personal growth. Plus, we'll share a story of someone who transformed their life by making these changes. Let's get started. First, let's ground this in a story. Meet Liam, a 35-year-old marketing manager who started noticing the patterns we've discussed. His friend Sophie was always quick with a backhanded compliment, like when Liam got a big promotion. And she said, "That's great, but don't let it go to your head." Worse, when Liam's father passed away, Sophie was nowhere to be found, offering only a vague, "I'm here if you need me," text with no follow-up. But when Liam threw a housewarming party, Sophie was the first to RSVP. After learning about Carl Jung's ideas of the shadow and recognizing Sophie's patterns of undermining and absence, Liam realized he was pouring energy into a one-sided friendship. He decided it was time to act, not out of anger, but to protect his own growth. Liam's story shows us that spotting fake friends is just the beginning. What you do next is what shapes your future. So, what's the first step? Trust your instincts and name the pattern. If you've noticed a friend consistently undermining you or disappearing during tough times, don't brush it off. Carl Jung emphasized making the unconscious conscious by naming these behaviors as signs of a fake friend. You take the first step toward clarity. Ask yourself, do I feel supported or drained after spending time with this person? Do they celebrate my wins and show up in my struggles? Or do they only appear when it suits them? Trusting your gut is powerful. It's not about overanalyzing every interaction, but about recognizing when someone's actions don't align with true friendship. For Liam, this meant admitting that Sophie's behavior wasn't just how she is. It was a red flag. Step 2. Set boundaries without drama. You don't need a big confrontation to protect yourself. Boundaries can be quiet and intentional. Start by limiting what you share with a fake friend. If they undermine your successes, stop telling them about your big wins. If they vanish during hard times, don't rely on them for support. For example, Liam stopped sharing his career goals with Sophie and instead turned to other friends who cheered him on. He didn't cut Sophie off completely. He just reduced her role in his life. This is what Carl Jung's concept of individuation is all about. Choosing relationships that align with your journey to becoming your best self. Boundaries aren't about punishing someone, they're about honoring your worth. Step 3. Invest in real connections. Once you've identified fake friends, redirect your energy to people who show up authentically. Think about the friends who celebrate your highs and stick around for your lows. These are the ones worth your time. Research from social psychology, like studies in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, shows that strong, supportive relationships boost mental health, resilience, and even career success. For Liam, this meant deepening his bond with a coworker. Mia, who always checked in during tough times and genuinely celebrated his achievements. He started inviting Mia to coffee, joining her for hikes, and building a friendship that felt reciprocal. Carl Jung would say, this is how you grow, by surrounding yourself with people who reflect your values and support your individuation. But what if setting boundaries or letting go feels hard? That's where step 4 comes in. Reframe the pain as growth. Losing a friend, even a fake one, can hurt. You might feel guilty, question your judgment, or worry about being alone. But Carl Jung's philosophy reminds us that every challenge is a chance to evolve. Letting go of a fake friend isn't a loss, it's a step toward authenticity. It's about clearing space for relationships that lift you up. Liam struggled with this at first. He'd known Sophie for years and felt loyal to their history. But by focusing on how much lighter he felt without her subtle jabs, he saw the bigger picture he was making, room for people who truly valued him. This shift in perspective turned his pain into empowerment. Let's bring this full circle with one more example. Imagine Rachel, a writer who realized her friend Tom was a fake friend. He'd downplay her published articles with comments like, "That's cool, but anyone can write a blog these days." And when Rachel went through a tough financial patch, Tom was always too busy to talk. Inspired by Carl Jung's idea of individuation, Rachel decided to act. She stopped sharing her writing with Tom and instead joined a local writers' group. There, she met people who gave constructive feedback and cheered her on. Over time, Rachel's confidence grew, and she published her first book. By letting go of a draining friendship, she created space for connections that fueled her dreams. So, what's the big takeaway? Recognizing fake friends is about more than spotting their flaws. It's about choosing yourself. Carl Jung's wisdom teaches us that by making the shadow conscious, whether it's theirs or your own, you gain the power to shape your life. Fake friends, with their undermining comments and absence in need, reveal their true selves through their patterns. Your job isn't to fix them, it's to protect your growth. By trusting your instincts, setting boundaries, investing in real connections, and reframing pain as growth. You're not just avoiding fake friends, you're building a life filled with authentic relationships. Before we wrap up, let's reflect. Have you ever had to let go of a friend who wasn't there for you? Or maybe you found a true friend who changed your life for the better? Drop your story in the comments below. Your experience could inspire someone else. And if this video has helped you see your relationships more clearly, hit that like button and share it with someone who needs it. You're watching Jung Psyche Hub, where we dive into the psychology of growth and relationships. Stay tuned for our outro, where we'll tie it all together and leave you with a powerful call to action. You deserve friends who lift you up, not ones who hold you back. In this video, we've uncovered the 2 psychological signs that expose fake friends, consistent undermining that chips away at your confidence and their absence when life gets tough. Guided by Carl Jung's timeless wisdom, we've seen how their shadow reveals their true motives, and how recognizing these patterns empowers you to take control. This isn't about dwelling on betrayal, it's about embracing your worth and building a life surrounded by authentic relationships. Carl Jung's idea of individuation reminds us that every step you take to protect your growth brings you closer to your truest self. So, what's next? Don't let fake friends dim your light. Trust your instincts, set boundaries, and invest in people who show up for you. In good times and bad, you have the power to choose relationships that fuel your journey. Start today by reflecting on your own circle, who's truly in your corner. And here's a challenge. Share your story in the comments below. Have you ever spotted these signs in a friendship? Or maybe you found a true friend who changed your life. Your experience could inspire someone else to make a change. If this video opened your eyes to the psychology of relationships, hit that like button. It helps us reach more people searching for these insights. Subscribe to Jung Psyche Hub and tap the bell so you never miss our deep dives into Carl Jung's wisdom, personal growth, and building meaningful connections. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it together. We can spread the power of self-discovery. Thank you for watching, and let's keep growing toward our best selves. See you in the next video.